All right, so Emilio Uribe, he's someone like everyone in Hollywood wants to work with. But we're going deeper than just like red carpet looks.
Definitely. This isn't just about celebrity. It's about someone who really understands the deeper meaning of beauty. I mean, you found some incredible stuff.
Yeah, a cancer survivor who comes back swinging with like an eco-conscious beauty brand, and this whole thing about weaving culture into his work. There's a story here.
Totally. And it's interesting, right? Because he's working with like Alicia Keys, Beyonce, Shakira, these huge names.
Oh, right out of the gate. That's
But early on.
wow. Okay, so he's got this incredible eye for what looks amazing, obviously, but then there's this whole other layer of like cultural significance. It's like he's bridging worlds almost.
He is.
Yeah.
And I think it comes from this like really deep understanding of how identity and beauty standards kind of like play off each other. Even early in his career, Uribe was drawn to, how our backgrounds, our values, they all feed into how we see beauty.
It's like he was destined for something bigger than just like, what's the hot trend this season,
Exactly. And working with those women, those icons, each one's so strong in their heritage.
Yep.
That must have been like fuel to that fire.
So it's like, talk about facing a challenge. You're building this brand, this whole vision, and then cancer hits.
And he not only faces it, but he weaves it into the story of UB Beauty. Like it becomes this testament to, resilience and the power of, like not giving up.
It's huge because he could have just walked away, right?
Yeah.
But he comes back in 2020, relaunches the brand, and it's like this whole other level of meaning now.
For sure. Okay, but let's talk about the work itself, the actual hair and makeup, because there's this quote that really stuck with me. Reedy says it's all about powerful forms of self-expression. And that just like clicks.
They're like, yeah, skills are one thing, but Uribe's tapping into something deeper.
Right. And it goes beyond just like express yourself however you want. He's really thinking about the cultural weight of these choices.
Mm-hmm.
When he says he incorporates traditions, it's not about like costumes or appropriating. It's about understanding like the history, the meaning.
Okay, so give me an example. How does he actually do that?
So like he talks about the language of braids in Afro-Caribbean culture, or the significance of henna in like South Asian weddings, even something as simple as a headscarf, right?
Yeah.
It could be fashionable, but also deeply, deeply personal.
That reminds me of this time I went to like a friend's family reunion, and they were like big Italian-American family. And the women, the way they styled their hair, it was like this whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, like each braid, each pin, it was like this story passed down through generations. And you could just feel the pride, the connection to their like heritage. It wasn't just hair, it was like family history woven in.
Exactly. That's what Uribe gets.
Yeah.
Like remember that photo shoot he did with Shakira where he wove like traditional Colombian beadwork into her hair?
Oh, yeah.
It was stunning. Super modern, but also this nod to her roots.
And it felt authentic. It wasn't costumey at all. It was like, this is part of who I am.
Yeah.
It's like he's speaking a language everyone can understand, but it's also like really personal.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is, he knows that like his voice matters. He's super big on making the beauty industry more inclusive,
Like not just who he works with, but like opening doors for everyone.
Exactly. He's always like sharing his knowledge, doing tutorials online, mentoring up-and-coming stylists, that kind of thing. He wants everyone to have a seat at the table,
Which is like amazing. He's a mentor, an artist, an activist. I mean, you see what he came back from, and it's like, what can't he do?
Seriously. The guy's unstoppable.
Mm.
But for me, it's more about how he's changing things. It's not just about making hair look cool. It's about the meaning behind it, the power it has.
Totally. Like that story you told about the Colombian beadwork. It's like...
Yeah. It's about connecting to something bigger than ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
our heritage, our culture, and that's a message that lasts.
Exactly. So, like, we started with this celebrity stylist, right? But it's so much more than that.
Way more. Emilio Uribe is pushing us to rethink what beauty really means. Not just how it looks, but what it says.
And what it could be in the future, right? Like, if one person can do all that...
Imagine what happens when everyone starts speaking that language.
That's something to think about.